Alright, so after taking my monthly dumbass Eryizo break, I think it's finally time I actually get some work done and talk about some Pokemon Sword and Shield. And I mean, since I've been gone, there has been a lot of new information dropped on these games, like the evil teams, more rivals, and of course, Galarian forms. Video on that coming very soon, by the way. But I mean, even though we have gotten all that information, we still have yet to hear anything about the Generation 8 starters. And since a lot of you guys really seem to enjoy my last video talking about the starter evolutions for Pokemon Sun and Moon, I thought why not bring the idea back for the newest entries to the series. And no, it's not because I'm lazy and I can't think of a new video idea, okay? It's just because, you know, it's because of what I said, okay? Just don't test me, I'll go back on break. Now obviously for this video, I'm not only going to be giving you guys what I want the starter evolutions to look like, but I'm also going to be giving you the origins and reasons why I came up with the concepts, possible stats, moves, hidden abilities, and even dual typings for each starter. Now I know for most people, it's going to be very hard to believe that I didn't draw these amazing designs because just look at some of my older works, you know, it's modern day Picasso over here. But actually, these designs are made by the very talented Devildman, so if you want to go check out more of his work, then the links to that will be in the description. And with that said, welcome to the best possible Pokemon Sword and Shield starter evolutions. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And with that being said, let's get started. Alright, so if we're going to be talking about potential starter evolutions for Pokemon Sword and Shield, I think we have to start with the one I'm most uneasy with, that being the Fire-type starter, Scorbunny. As you guys know from my starter Pokemon tier list video, I'm not really a big fan of this Pokemon's design. It gives me a lot of fire fighting vibes and it just looks kind of boring to me. But since this is a video about what I like to see for the starters, we don't really have to worry about those dumb things because I'm of course a genius and you should all kiss the ground I walk on. Alright, I'm gonna stop because it's kind of getting a little weird now. But anyways, these factors heavily influenced me to give Scorbunny's evolution defining features to ensure that it would absolutely not be mistaken for a fire fighting type. So with that, I give you guys Rabbooter. And as you guys can probably tell, I went with a lot of the community's guesses on theme and typing, being based on a soccer player and being a fire and electric type. The name itself, yes, is a bit basic and simple, being based on rabbit and booter, but you know, soccer players boot the ball, so it works. Sometimes simplicity works the best here. Now I saw a lot of designs out there for a Scorbunny evolution, and I definitely wanted to differentiate myself from theirs. So rather than being a midfielder or like a striker, I decided to go with a goalie aesthetic. And I have to say, if the real Scorbunny evolution were anything like this, I just might have to reconsider my starter choice because this thing is freaking amazing. The gloves and the cleats work really well without being an unrealistic thing to see on a Pokemon. The soccer ball also being made out of lightning is super dope to see, and overall the colors of the uniform and Pokemon just blend really well together. It's just such a nice Pokemon to look at. Now as I mentioned before, this Pokemon would be a dual fire and electric typing, making it only the second Pokemon to use this type combination behind Rotom Heat. This is a very solid type combination as it offers a pretty solid amount of resistances and only 3 weaknesses being water, rock, and ground. Now as for stats, I'm thinking Rabbooter should be a bit more well-rounded instead of just having 1 or 2 stats it performs well with. So we'll have it with 75 HP, 90 attack, 95 defense, 70 special attack, 95 special defense, and finally we'll have it at 105 for its speed. Now as you can see, we definitely wanted Rabbooter to be a bit more defensive and fast, since, you know, it is based on a goalie, but it can hit well enough if need be. As for moves, I'm thinking Blaze Kick, all of the elemental punches, Wild Charge, Bulk Up, and then a new signature move being being Volt Punt. We're gonna make this a physical electric type move that will either hit as a physical or special move, depending on which defensive stat is lower on the opponent's Pokemon. And since this move is going to utilize that electrical ball it has and kick it towards the opposing Pokemon, the move is also gonna have the ability to break screens. And to not have this move be completely overpowered, I'm thinking it should only have a base power of like maybe 70. And finally, for its hidden ability, I think it should get access to maybe something like Iron Fist, so it can better take advantage of its access to the elemental punches. All in all, like I said, I don't really enjoy Scorbunny that much, but being the huge soccer, or I guess football fan that I am, seeing an evolution like this would really make me reconsider my position on this Pokemon. Now that we got my least favorite starter out of the way, let's switch it up and talk about my favorite of the three. That, of course, being the grass-type starter, Kruky. I mean, what's not to love about this thing? It's got a cute face, lots of potential for an amazing evolution, and you know what? It's got this little cute little bamboo stick thing. It's freaking adorable, okay? That aside, though, I decided to actually have its adorableness end and go for a more intimidating punk rocker look. Now, before I start talking about its name, I just want to say I'm not as confident with this one as I was with Rabbooter, but I still kind of like him. And with that, we have Babrute or Arpeggio. Babrute comes from a combination of baboon, brute, and root, whereas Arpeggio is a bit more simple in just removing the R from arpeggio to give it that simian connection. However, I'm not completely sold on these names though, as Babrute doesn't really have much musical influence to the name, and while Arpeggio does check both boxes, it just doesn't sound as rock and roll as I'd like it to. Comment section, you know what to do here. Best name gets a shout out in the next video. So the influences in this design came from a mandrill mixed with a general influence of rock, punk, glam, and hair metal bands, more specifically being Gene Simmons from Kiss. Which is kind of funny now since we have Obstagoon, which is definitely inspired by the man. And its singular bamboo stick thing now has turned into a pair of drumsticks. And you can't say that's weird, because where did Kadabra's spoons come from? You know what? Where did Alakazam's 2 spoons come from? I just really like this design, as it's something that I believe we'd all like to see in the Pokemon games. A big, powerful ape. For its typing, I'm definitely thinking grass and rock, because, you know, rock and roll, play on words, you know.
Please clap.
And just like the Rabbooter line, this type combination has only been done once before with the Bundle of Dicks Pokemon, Cradily. For its stats, I wanted it to be a more bulky physical attacker rather than a fast defensive Pokemon. So I decided to go with 100 HP, 100 attack, 110 defense, 65 special attack, 105 special defense, and 50 for its speed. Yeah, I know that speed isn't looking too pretty. However, there has to be some sacrifices made for that massive, thick wall. Wait, that doesn't sound right. As for moves, I'm thinking maybe Wood Hammer, Stone Edge, Stealth Rocks, Double Edge, and maybe even something like Synthesis. These moves allow it to fully take advantage of its bulk to set up hazards and stay on the field as long as it can. And for its hidden ability, I think the only option we can really go with here is Rockhead. It's just perfect for it. It's a rock type being based on rock and roll, and not to mention, it would be extremely useful because of all of the recoil moves we'll have on it. Either way, all I know is that if this evolution ever were to come about in the Pokemon Sword and Shield games, it would be really hard for me to say no to adding one on my team. And with that, it's finally time to talk about the last starter of the Galar region, that being, of course, the water-type Pokemon, Sobble. I don't know, man. With this Pokemon, it's a bit of an enigma to me. I don't really know what to say about it. It's definitely weird looking, but I really like it at the same time. So to go with that weird but cool vibe, I decided that this design would be the most interesting and coolest idea for a Sobble evolution. For this evolution, I decided to go with the name Cacomelion. This name comes from a combination of Cacodemon, the ancient Greek word for an evil spirit, and of course, chameleon. The basis of this design comes from the Japanese yokai the Amori, which are the ghosts of fallen soldiers turned into geckos, as well as the Banshee, an Irish spirit that is known for its loud crying and shrieking. I thought these two concepts worked perfectly together and really made for an amazing design. The creepy long tongue, the sharp claws, and the veil that it wears, so to speak, has many layers to its purpose in the design. See, Cacomelion is based on the veiled chameleon. Banshees typically are depicted as women in veils, and the transparency of it represents the dead skin being shed from the Pokemon. It's such a small detail, but haha, you know me, bro. I'm all about them small details. And in reality, those are the things that get me to really appreciate a Pokemon's design the most. So, if it wasn't obvious enough by now, this Pokemon is going to be a water ghost typing. I know, freaking shocker. And okay, I know this is like starting to become weird now, but I'm telling you, this is a complete coincidence. The starter's typing has only been done once before in Generation 5 with the Jellicent line. For how it will play though, Cacomelion is going to be more of a frail, fast special attacker. So its stats will consist of 100 HP, 60 attack, 70 defense, 120 special attack, 75 special defense, and 110 for its speed. The defenses aren't super awful, but they're not great by any means. But it definitely makes up for that in having a solid amount of HP and being able to hit hard with haste. For moves, I'm thinking this Pokemon should get access to Water Spout to go along with its high HP stat, Scald because obviously it should have it, Shadow Ball for the same reason, Will-O-Wisp, and I think Signal Beam for coverage. And lastly, for its hidden ability, I think it's pretty obvious which one we're gonna have to go with here. That being, of course, Shed Skin. It's a solid ability and just makes sense given the origin and design of the Pokemon. And with that, these three Pokemon are what I would personally like to see for evolutions to the Galar starters. And between all of them, it's really difficult to choose which one I'd want to use for my team, but at the end of the day, that to me is what makes for a great starter trio in a Pokemon region. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments section below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and become an Eryizo today. If you want to check out the previous video I did, be sure to click the annotation on the left. And if you guys want to see some more Pokemon Sword and Shield videos, click the other annotation on the right. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time.